Hi guys, and welcome to a bonus video. You didn't think I was just going to leave you with a tier 2 Ace Tanker on the channel today. We are back in the Pz.IV H. Yes, it's another Ace Tanker in the Pz.IV H, and I know I've featured the Pz.IV H at least twice since Christmas, so twice in the last 4 months. The Pz.IV H has been on the channel, maybe even 3 times, but I've been playing this tank quite a lot. And the reason I've been playing this tank quite a lot is because since rebuying it to get the Ace Tanker, I enjoyed the experience so much I decided to keep it. And like most tanks I rebuy to get an Ace Tanker, I put a 75% crew in the tank. And it doesn't perform quite as well with the 75% crew, so I really wanted to get this crew up to 100%, which I did. And then I decided I liked the tank so much, I really wanted to get 6 cents on the commander, because if I can get 6 cents on the commander, this tank is going to become so much better. So I've been playing it mainly to level up the crew, get a decent crew in it, and once I have 6 cents on the commander, it's one of these tanks I'll drop down into the reserves and I'll pull out on special occasions just to have fun in it, because it's a fun tank. I really enjoy playing it. So leveling up the crew is one reason I've been playing a lot of the Pz.IV H. I mean, it gets played at least once every time I sit down to play World of Tanks. But the other reason I've been playing a lot of Pz.IV H is because not only is it a fun tank, not only is it I'm trying to level up the crew, but I'm also using the Pz.IV H to complete a lot of the personal missions. I find the tank very good at completing a lot of the personal missions. Missions where you need to do, for example, killing TDs or killing Arty, because this tank can one-hit kill a lot of the tanks it faces when it's top tier. It's a very good tank for completing personal missions. But the reason I decided to put this game up today is because I'm not top tier. This is a very bad matchup for the Pz.IV H. Now, I use the derp gun because it's fun, and when you're top tier, you can one-hit kill a lot of tanks. But when you're bottom tier, and I'm about as bottom tier as you can get, it's a very tier 7 game, and a lot of heavily armored tanks on the enemy team. But I'm bottom tier, and I'm using the derp gun. And sometimes when you're bottom tier, it's very difficult to have good games, and you've really got to change the way you play. I'd play it much more aggressively if I was top tier, or even in the tier 6 game I'd play the Pz.IV H much more aggressively. But on this game I'm not in a top tier tank. I'm in a tier 7 game here on Prokhorovka. It's an encounter game, and that means I've got to play it a lot more passively. But even still, when you're using the derp gun and when you're not top tier, you can still have very good games in the Pz.IV H, which is one of the reasons I really like the tank. And as you can see, I'm loading up HE straight away. In fact, ever since rebuying this tank, getting the Ace Tanker and deciding to keep it, I don't think I've fired a single premium round. I basically fire HE exclusively, 53mm of penetration, 410 alpha damage. Fantastic when you're top tier, but when you're bottom tier it's a different story. The premium ammo, 104mm of penetration, 350 alpha damage with heat, but as I say, I've never fired a single heat shell. But anyway, we're moving up, and I'm going to be playing as a support tank. The issue when you're bottom tier usually isn't whether or not your tank can do damage. It's usually down to the fact you don't have a lot of hit points, and as a result, enemy tanks can basically just annihilate you in 1 or 2 shots. But Arty was way too aggressive, and he dies before it can get a shot in. Now, I don't have 6 cents on the tank. As I say, one of the reasons I play the Pz.IV H, other than trying to use it for doing missions, is because I want to get 6 cents on the commander. Unfortunately, the missions aren't showing up here, so I'm not quite sure which medium tank mission I'm on. But I'm playing rather passively. I'm playing as a support tank, and I'm actually sniping with the derp gun. So T-37, now if I'd been able to hit and pen him, I would have done full damage. But as is, I just bounce, and look at the accuracy. We're able to get him with the second shot. Now Pz.IV in the distance, he was over there I believe. I go for a blind shot, but he's going to cause me some problems in this game. So, a couple of blind shots into his bush, no idea whether or not they hit him. And again, even though I'm playing support, I am actually playing quite aggressively. I'm trying to get some spots, trying to work the mid-ridge, and that 3-4 has decided to get some revenge because the ELC spotted me. And there's RT. There are 3 RT, or at least there were 3 RT in this game. And I was really surprised they didn't focus me down more. But one RT did try to hit me. I'm bottom tier. RT players, basically when you get into a tier 7 game, focus on the tier 7 tanks. They're more dangerous. Don't focus on XVM and the only blue player. But you usually end up losing if you try and focus on just the good players. Unless you've got a very easy shot, try and focus on the dangerous tanks rather than the dangerous players. So, I mean, if I was the only one spotted, then yep, sure, go ahead, take a shot. But usually you see a lot of RT players, at least in my experience, a lot of RT players focus me down simply because I'm blue. It can be annoying, but it also loses games for their team. Because if they're not hitting those shots, if I'm aware and I'm trying to stay RT safe, if I'm constantly on the move, they're missing shots at much more valuable targets. But the enemy team are moving up aggressively. They're moving up the 1-2 lines. I don't have 6th sense. I'm kind of trusting in my crew at the moment over the fact I'm actually staying safe, which was probably a little bit risky, considering RT had just fired a shot. I'd forgotten that this had happened. But our MT-25 is in trouble. I've got to come up. I've got to help the MT-25. Now, I may not be able to do full damage, but 181 damage is still pretty good for a derp gun. And I'm doing module damage, I'm doing crew damage, and another 160 into his side. So we managed to save the MT-25. Not much to shoot out of this A44. And again, I'm sitting still, and that Pz.IV up in the bush has got me ranged in. He's taking shots. So I decide, you know what, I can't really work the 1-2 lines. It looks as if they've got it handle lots of tanks down here. But, oh, here we go. And the gun depression on the Pz.IV H is really good. So, I'm going to go up against my rival here. And as I say, I'm shooting some tier 5 tanks. And that spaced armor in his tracks are preventing penetrating hits. But there's that Pz.IV. Someone hit him earlier. And we go and we take him out with 1 shot. So it's possible I did hit him earlier. We'll see. But yeah, so we're up to 2 kills. I'm up to not even 1,000 damage yet, although I did take some blind shots. And now I'm just working the middle ridge. I'm a medium tank. I may not be particularly fast, but I figure that most of the enemy tanks have been spotted, with the exception of RT and an S-35CA. So I figure, you know what? I'm probably pretty safe. Usually the TD would go up onto the hill, but we've moved up and now we've got a Tiger 1. Tier 7 tank. And when you're bottom tier, this is where you get all your credits and all your XP. When you're at tier 5, shooting at tier 7, shooting any tank that's 2 tiers below, higher than you, you get much more credits, you get much more XP. And we are just raining shots in. Now we're not doing penetrating hits, but we're still getting damage done. I'm playing as a support, I'm playing as a sniper, even with the derp gun. And as I say, I really like the Pz.IV H because it's just effective even in a tier 7 game. As long as you're not too aggressive, as long as you're not being focus fired, and you get a chance to work like you do in this game, you can just rain shots out. Now that Tiger is sitting there, he's aiming, and he's probably not too worried about me because I'm only taking little bits of health. But there we go. Black Prince, well-armored tank, and my HE does 0 damage, but don't need to worry about him anymore. So the enemy team are down to 5 tanks. Now this was quite a balanced game, a lot of good players on either side, but we've moved up, side of an M4, and I hit his tracks. Now, I could have killed him, but nope, hit his tracks. Risk is sitting up here for another shot, get hit by the Tiger, fall back, and I was very lucky. I just bounced at 35 CA. S-35 CA. Turns out that he wasn't on the hill, he was camping in the 1-2 lines, and just 2 RT left. That shot got him spotted, he got taken out. So I will admit I got a little bit lucky, but you could see that we've done almost 2,000 damage. 2 RT left. I'm moving into a position where I can hit them, and firing HE. These guys are one-hit kills. So we fire, we take out the M41. Do I have shots on the Lorraine? Not much. And shot in the air, and someone else takes him out just before we kill him. But yeah, bottom tier, tier 5, tier 7 game, and we did over 2,000 damage. So the Pz.IV H is one of these tanks I rebought to get an ace tanker and ended up liking so much I decided to keep it, especially with the derp gun. This tank is deadly when it's top tier, as I've showed in previous videos, but it's also very, very good when you get it into a tier 7 game. Yes, a lot of tanks I hate being bottom tier, but even though maybe it's not the best matchup for a Pz.IV H when you do get it into a tier 7 game, my point is the tank can still be fun to play and it can still do a job even when it's bottom tier, and it's just another reason why I like the tank. If you don't play as aggressively, if you play it more as a sniper, even though you're using the derp gun, you can have some very, very good games. So finished up with 1290 XP, so almost 1300 XP in that game, and did 2370 damage. So one of my blind shots did go in. I'm just wondering, was it the Pz.IV? And nope, my blind shot in the Pz.IV didn't go in, but that doesn't matter too much. We still did 2370 damage. That's second on damage in that matchup, first on XP. Bottom tier in a Pz.IV H. I really do like this tank. Really looking forward to finally getting 6 cents on the commander. And as I say, it's a fantastic tank if you're trying to do medium tank missions for the personal missions. But 23 shots fired and 19 hits, so even though it's an inaccurate derp gun, it can still be quite accurate. It's almost Russian derp standards by that count. So nice damage even as a tier 5 in a tier 7 game. I spotted 1, damaged 7, destroyed 4, and did 1272 assistance damage because I was poking the ridge, I was trying to get some spots, and because I was firing HE, I was doing track damage, I was doing module damage, I was doing crew damage, all of which ended up earning me a little bit more XP, and we earned almost 50,000 credits in that game with a premium account. We would have still made a decent profit without a premium account, so it's a decent money maker if you have good games in this tank. 1935 XP, and it wasn't my first game of the day because I was using the tank to level up the crew and to do medium tank missions, but it's a very, very good tank, guys. I really do recommend the Pz.IV H. Even when it's bottom tier and you play it a little bit more passively, try and conserve your hit points. And I did get a little bit lucky by bouncing an S35 CA, but when you do conserve your hit points, use it more passively as a support tank and snipe with it. It's just an awesome tank. I love my Pz.IV H, and I think everyone should have one in their garage. But anyway, bonus video for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.